everyone, and welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz. That's right, it's tea time again. And we're here tonight with a beautiful, amazing woman, the CEO of the Global Caregiver Network, Sherrell D. Mims. And I am honored to have her in here because we actually have a backstory on how we actually met. And we'll get into that a little later in tea time. So I'm just going to introduce Sherrell, and then she's going to take the floor over, and we're going to have a good old tea time. So grab your cups. Yeah. Grab your beverages, enjoy your tea, coffee, juice, water, whatever you're drinking, and just sit back and enjoy it. Leave your comments and questions in the box below, and I will bring them up to the screen if you have any questions for Sherrell. So a little bit on Sherrell. She's an evangelist, is an Amazon best-selling author and contributor of several books that have captivated readers worldwide. Also known for her brand, Mrs. Sherrell Speaks, the speaker has shared her story as a teacher, caregiver, and entrepreneur. Her book entitled I Will Wait Until Morning, a caregiver's memoir on assisting a loved one with cancer, captured millions of readers as Sherrell went deeper into her personal journey and experience. Additional, Sherrell D. Mims is the #1 best-selling contributor author for the National Prayer Book for Everything Under the Sun and Women Inspiring Nations. I'm Still Standing, Volume 3. Her knowledge as a caregiver advocate, inspirational leader, and transformational speaker has reached multiple and uplifted spirits across the globe. Sherrell D. Mims has dreamed of becoming an international speaker for as long as she can remember. Being Sean Fair's latest discovery, Sherrell's career as a speaker takes on a higher league. She was previously featured on Speakers Com 2020 and currently on the Speakers Com 2021, recognized for her ability to engage audience well and make them related to her. For furthermore on Sherrell, because her bio is incredible, check out Miss Liz's Tea Time page and you can read all of the incredible work that this woman is doing for herself and for others and her family as well. So I'm going to get right into it. Sherrell, take the floor. Tell us how it all began and where it's taking you.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is, like she said, Sherrell D. Mims, and I have been a caregiver, professional caregiver for over 22 years and counting. And so let the saga begin. I started back in the 1980s. I was a registered nurse. I did a medical surgical, cardiac, telemetry, hemodialysis, and that's just to name a few things that I have done in my career. From there, I had always wanted to be a motivational speaker. I'm the person that is going to uplift you, empower you, and equip you to move to the next level in your life. And so this is what I do. My main thing that I do is I am a caregiver advocate. I love taking care of people. That's my niche. That's what I do. And that's what I've been called to do. And this is what the Global Caregivers Network is all about. It's about networking with other caregivers. And this network is about exclusively caregivers. Because as a caregiver, we know about another caregiver. So I made this network exclusively to caregivers. Of course, there are going to be other people in the audience. That's fine. We want you all to join too. However, with the Global Caregivers Network, and I'm just going to call it GCN 2021. This is for those that take care of their family members. Now, you have 4 different types of caregivers. You have the family caregiver. You have the, the professional caregiver. You have the independent and or the private caregiver. And you have the informal or volunteer caregiver. So let me just explain what those are. You have the family caregiver. We pretty much know what a family caregiver is. Those are the people that take care of their loved one, be it a mother, father, sister, brother, and they do not get paid for it. In some instances, they may. Most of the time, they do not. This is your loved one, and you're taking care of them. Then #2 caregiver, the private or independent. This is someone that comes in to the home, a home health care caregiver that comes in, that get paid from maybe an agency or the family. Then you have the informal or volunteer caregiver. These are ones that just volunteer. to help take care of the person, maybe take them to the store, take them grocery shopping, get their hair done, whatever. They just volunteer their services for a short amount of time or however long they plan on being there with the care recipient. And so that's pretty much part of the GCN. That's it, pretty much the whole thing about it. The mission of GCN is to provide quality care. It's an online situation right now because it's a virtual online because of what's going on. However, we're providing resources and tools and things that the people need right now as a caregiver to move along that pathway, that journey of taking care of someone. As a caregiver, we already know that it can be a struggle. It can be challenging. There's always something to do as a caregiver. So as a caregiver, we want you to take care of yourself, number one. Set aside time for yourself. And that's the main thing. And then you can always take care of someone else. If you need a break, take that break. Get that break in. Do what you need to do to take care of you. And so that's why I met with the GCN. And I advise anyone that is a caregiver to go over to the Global Caregivers Network. Like I say, it's a private group. However, you can ask to join. And so that's what you want.
Sherrell, do you have a page for that, or is there a website that people can go to? Because I can find that and I can put that into the comments.
I'm getting the website together as we speak. Okay. However, they can go to the private group on the Facebook. That's where everybody is intertwining with right now and where we're having conversations. And there will be a website within the next month.
Okay.
And I apologize for that, but we will have a website later.
Oh, no, we can do it. I can always do an update with your Teatime.
Wonderful.
No. I keep everybody updated. Any good news that comes my way, I bring it back. Right? That's what I do. Is I keep tabs on you guys. I'm kind of like your little stalker there, and I just come at you.
Okay, there you go. But you know what? The thing about this is because everyone is on Facebook.
Yeah.
Initially I started out the GCN as a public group, but then everything was getting kind of a little out of context. And so I made it private for a reason, because I wanted to be exclusively for caregivers. I want them to have a platform and a space to share. This is a private space. They can come in, they can share information, and it's amongst us. If you want to say something in that group, that's where it's staying. We're not sharing anything outside of the group. So that's what that privacy is all about. And then I have a thing about privacy also, because with everything that's going on, and then even working in hospitals and clinics and things that want to be shared in the group can stay in the group. So that's why I'm up with that.
So Sherrell, what got you into caregiving?
Oh, okay. Caregiving. Let's go back when I was a little.
There we go. We're going way back.
There we go. Come on, Sherrell, bring it. Okay. So when I was 11, let's go back. When I was 11 years young, at home with the family, of course, my dad had a grand mal seizure, which I didn't know anything about at that time, right? I'm a young girl. He had a seizure. It happened in the kitchen. Found out later that it was alcohol-induced seizure from not drinking. So he had this bad seizure, which left his whole body just totally just rigid and everything. And also he had got amnesia from it. He didn't remember anything that was going on. Now at the age of 11, I'm already thinking about being a nurse to my dad. And so this is when I knew I had that aha moment. This is what I want to do. I want to take care of people, because even after my dad had that seizure, I still took care of my dad. You know what I'm saying? We all in the house together. That was fine. My mother, my other siblings, we were all in the house together. But I just had this feeling in my heart that I needed to take care of my dad. And so that's where the whole story began right there. I knew I wanted to be in care. I knew I wanted to be in healthcare. I didn't know what I really wanted to be. I just knew I wanted to take care of people. At 11 years old, you a baby. You're not really putting all this together. You know what I'm saying? You just like, oh my goodness, my dad had a seizure. And so, yes, This is what I wanted to do. I knew at a young age that I wanted to take care of people. And this is how this all came about.
And how many years have you been a caregiver?
Professionally, 22 years and counting. Wow. Family caregiver since the age of 11. And we're not going to say our age right now.
We're just going to keep that.
But listen,
we ain't spilling that tea out there, right?
I'm like, no. I've been a caregiver. Listen, as long as some of these people have been alive, I'm telling you, and in a part of all of that, I do it with love and I do it with compassion. I have compassion for people. I'm not just out here just riff-raffing. I believe in quality care. Quality care. I mean, the best that I can give, excellence. We're not just thumbing this thing now. We going to give you the best care. And they don't even understand that they entertaining the angel unaware, right? I'm doing this from the heart. This is what I've been called to do. This is my niche. Like they say, I'm just going to, Dr. Sherrell already say, and she know Dr. Sherrell. Some of you may know Dr. Sherrell, but she's a master development speaker coach. Anyway, she say, find your lane of brilliance. This right here, Global Caregiver Network, is my lane of brilliance. This is what I do. And I want to bring everybody in. That's why it's globally, because caregivers are what? Around the world, nationwide, worldwide. And this is why it's called global.
Well, and you're right. It is global. There's every country needs a caregiver, right? It's not Absolutely. One country that doesn't need a caregiver.
Absolutely.
What message would you like to give to everybody out there who's watching and who will watch the replay later on caregiving and the importance of caregiving?
Well, number one, like I shared, take care of yourself. You know, a lot of people take care of their family members. Now, my specialty, just so people know, my specialty is bereavement, cancer. I am a family caregiver. I lost my fiance in 2013 to stomach cancer, stage 4. I took care of him in his last days. They had gave him like 18 months or 6 months to live. So this happened in November 2013. He made his transition. Before that time, I took care of him during his hospice time. He was on hospice for, I believe, is about 6 months, if I'm not mistaken, because everything just happened so fast. You know, the family came in, we all worked together to give him the best care. But I knew just by him being on hospice that it wasn't going to be long before he made that transition. And so my specialty is oncology, cancer, palliative care. Also, I specialize in other areas, you know, mental health. I talked about the cancer thing. Then there's other specialties that I have, but that's the main one. You know, cancer, oncology, bereavement, grief. Those are areas that I specialize in.
So I want to get into the Sherrell Speaks. How did that start and where did that name come from?
Miss Sherrell Speaks. That came about in April. Let me see if I remember well.
Because we ain't doing the age thing here.
You know what? Because I'm like, I was trying to do things around the time my daughter's birthday, right? So I know it was in April. I can remember April 2010, maybe something like that. It may be a little bit past that. However, it came about because I always wanted to be a speaker. I am always speaking. They say it's a gift of gab, right? So if you're going to have a gift of gab, you might as well use it to encourage someone, uplift someone, empower someone to be the best that they are. And this is what I found myself doing all the time. You know, as being a nurse, we're always speaking to people. We're always speaking to family members. We're always speaking to whoever, the doctor, the nurse, our other colleagues. And I just found myself always speaking in a way that it was encouraging, empowering, and uplifting someone. And so the Miss Sherrell Speaks came about because if I can remember, one of my mentees at the time, Dr. Rhonda Bolden, she mentioned to me that I need to get a name. to even start the speaking, right? So I just kept it as simple as possible. Miss Sherrell Speaks. Just kept it real simple. So that's how that came about. And that, like I said, that came about, I am thinking maybe in 2018 or something like that, maybe within the last 3 or 4 years. And I just stuck with it. And so even with that being said, with the Miss Sherrell Speaks, I have been speaking like in different churches, at the ladies' ministries, and doing things like that before the pandemic had even came in. It was things going on. You got little things. I also did the cancer thing at the ladies that wear red. That was one of the things that I did. Well, I just had a vendor table at that time. Then also I would speak at different women engagements in the church and things like that. So that's how Miss Sherrell Speaks came about in 2018, 2017, something like that. And I just stuck with it. And then ever since then, it just kept going. Then I ran upon, before it was Dr. Sherrell Wood. Ran across her. We got connected. I did the SpeakerCon 2020. And this is where I shared my story about losing a loved one to cancer. This book right here. We'll talk about that later. But this is a book related to losing a loved one to cancer called I Will Wait Until Morning, a perspective on a caregiver, a cancer caregiver. So I shared that information on Dr. Sherrell, the SpeakerCon 2020. Now we fast forward, we're doing a SpeakerCon 2021, and that's going to be, I'm going to leave that as a surprise because that's not even out yet.
It's coming because I got my tickets.
It is definitely coming. And I'm telling you, it is going to be like, oh my goodness, over the top, right? So let me just back up though and share with everyone about the Sean Fair Leadership Experience Tour. Now, y'all want to talk about, let me drink some tea on this one.
You got to drink tea when it comes to Sean.
Come on, Sean Fair. Where's Sean Fair? Sean Fair, here you go. Cheers to you, my brother, because this brother right here, Sean Fair, Leadership Experience Tour, this was another thing where I had the platform to come out and speak as Miss Sherrell Speaks. It was such a wonderful experience. Sean Fair is like one of the gurus. I'm telling you, he really precision you. His team, which is called Sean Fair Leadership Experience Tour. That's the tour, the speakers for the speakers. But he also have a consulting group that works with you to precision you to speak. I'm telling you, they precision you all the way down. They cut out all the fat.
Yes, they do.
They cut out the fat, and let's get to the story, y'all, because y'all be going all around.
They do an excellent job. Sean Fair's team does an excellent job.
Yes.
And that's how we're connected, is because we connected through Sean and through the other speakers and that as well. And that's how I got to meet Sherrell, was through Sean and the experience of the leadership tour. And he really does make a difference. He does impact people's lives in more ways than you realize. But you have to be ready to invest in yourself as well with Sean. You know, he's a hard player. He doesn't mess around. When it's time to play, it's time to play. But when it's time to work, it's time to work.
Y'all better come on. Y'all ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? But even if you're not ready, Sean, he just has that way of just letting you know you can do this. I mean, the whole team, you can do this. Just tell your story. Man, I think I was just it was just something different. Because really, it's like we getting you ready for the stage. You're going to be amongst thousands and thousands of people that is going to actually see you via even this right here.
Yeah.
You know, so I just thank Sean, the Sean Fair Consulting Group, for just looking out for us and taking out the time to precision us, cut out the fat, and get to the story, right? And so that's what it was all about. I cannot thank them enough. And he has other things that's going on, which I'm going to be a part of later on. So
yeah, that man is a busy man.
Whole team. You know, it's a
I don't
big.
even think he sleeps.
Yeah, I'm like, Sean, have you been asleep? He been asleep, but he gets right back up, man.
He does.
Right back up. But when you're in the business, that's what it takes. It takes that what? Tenacity.
Yeah.
You got to get out here and grind for yours, because it's so many other entities and so many other things that's going on that you got to focus in on you. Just like with the Global Caregivers Network, I am so focused in on that right now. Just like, so I can just share here. This may be the point to share. The Global Caregivers Network. You know, the month of November is Family Caregivers Month. So what I am going to do, and what I have been led to do, is to do a GCN spotlight. What is that? That is where I'm going to spotlight 8. We're not going to do the whole month of November. That would just be too much. And then my schedule is not going to allow for it. So, and because November is a short month because of, the holidays, we're going to spotlight 8 individuals, and they're going to briefly tell their story on how they became a caregiver. And so that's going to be on Sundays and Thursdays in November. We're going to start November 7th, that first Sunday in November, right after the Speaker Con, Dr. Sherrell Speaker Con. So that's what I'm saying. It's like one thing after another, and you got to keep it going.
You have to.
And so with the spotlight, I'm going to give them a chance because they are caregivers. It's a lot of caregivers. I keep saying this is just the beginning. So be looking for GCN to go forward with a lot of things going on in the future.
So what date in November are you doing this, Sherrell?
It's going to be on Sundays and Thursdays. It's just going to take 2 days, 4 times that month. And I'm gonna post the dates in the GCN. But the first date we're going to start November 7th, and then whatever that day is for the Thursday, and then that following Sunday and following Thursday. So we're going to do it, and then we're going to end on November 28th. We're going to end on November 28th, and I wanted male caregivers to stand up. You know what? We don't get enough male caregivers to stand up, and they don't get acknowledged as much as the women. We know women are caregivers. We know this. My thing, I want to reach out to the male caregivers and get their perspective on being a caregiver, because a lot of them are out there and they're not being recognized. They're not even being acknowledged for what they're doing.
And you're right. Women, it's natural, right? We are the natural caregiver. It's in our blood.
Correct.
But there are incredible men out there. So if anyone who's watching now or watching the replay, if you're a male caregiver, reach out to Sherrell. I'm sure she would love to work with you and love to get to know you as well, and how she can help you. Because this is what we're here for. We're here to connect and network together, right?
Absolutely.
And put that call out there that if you are a male and you are making a difference and are a caregiver, please reach out to Sherrell Mims, and she will work with you. And like she said, there is a Facebook group. I will get that into the comments. I'm just looking for it. And I will get that up, and you can join the group. But please respect the privacy of all of these people that are in this group. I ask you, when you join a group on any platform, please respect the members. I want each and every one out there to understand that even my Teatime guests, I want them to be respected for the work that they do. They are coming here and openly and publicly acknowledging their work, and I want it to be respected as well. Sherrell, I really want to thank you for your services for caregiving for that long. Really, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, and I want to thank you personally for the work that you've done. Now, I want to get into the book that you brought up.
Okay.
Can you get a little dig a little deeper into the book on the process of writing the book? What impact did it have on you?
Okay, so this book called A Caregiver's Memoir on Assisting a Loved One with Cancer. And the title is I Will Wait Until Morning. This came about after my fiance had passed away. I have been doing a little journal. You know, when you're a caregiver, you're always writing, you're always sitting still for a minute. So during the process of me taking care of him during his last days, I'm sitting there and I'm journaling. I'm just writing things down. After he made his transition, that's when the book had came upon me to go ahead and write this book, not for me, but for others that has been dealing with their loved one with cancer. A lot of times, like I say, we don't get the help that we need. We don't reach out to people. And so we end up just in a place of stagnation. God gave me this book to write, and I wrote it. So in this book, I shared with the readers about how I took care of my loved one, the different stages of grief, how that made me feel, because I had a time where I had some downtime, baby, because after he had left, after he made his transition, I went into a state of, we sad, we're depressed, we don't know what's going on, I don't want to be here. I went through all of that, and I share all of this in this book. The grief, the bereavement stages, the stages of grief. Then I also have pages in here after you read the chapter. There's pages in here where you can talk about things that you remember, things that really came to your attention, that really stood out in the chapter. Then at the end, I talk about about the author and what's going on there, and I also give the readers scriptures that I use to help me get through my grieving process. It may not be for them. However, it's in the book, and you can always go back, you can read it, and to be reassured that guess what? You're not in this by yourself, baby.
Yeah.
You're not. This is not new. Cancer has been here forever, and it's going to be here. And so it's just all about how you deal with it. I knew for me, I had to come out of that thing, baby. I couldn't stay in that state of depression and sadness and, just being oppressed with this thing. I had to come out of that. And so I share that in this book, keys and successful tips that I use to come out of this stage of grief. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, they stay in that state of depression, which is not good. And I know everyone deals with grief differently. I do understand that. But the whole thing about grief is that you don't want to stay in a place of grief, of sadness and depression too long.
Exactly, right? You don't want to be stuck in the grief, because how do you heal? How do you move forward? And everyone does grieve differently. I have my own grieving things that I'm overcoming. Mm-hmm. But if we don't speak about it, if we don't share, how do we make a difference, right?
That is correct. But you have to step by. You have to, for me, let me share with how I did it. And this may help someone in the audience. What I had to do, I'm telling you, I just had to get in this place where it was just me and God. It can be you. I don't know who, your higher being is or whatever. For me, it was me and my God. I had to go in this space where I just had to just be quiet and know that God was with me. I'm telling you, when my fiance had passed away, that thing had took me over because you connected. I mean, we went places together as a family, him, myself, and my daughter. But I'm telling you, when you have that connection with someone, it's not that easy to just drop it and say, oh, okay, it's over. No, we had a connection. We was knitted together. So what did I have to do? I had to call on the higher being, and I had to just do what I had to do to make sure that I had to come out of that. So some of the successful keys that I had to do, I had to find a support group. I had to find a cancer support group, and I talked to them on the phone first. Then I even went to go visit. I had to be around other people because you cannot actually be alone when you're going through this thing. I know people, like I just said, they deal with death differently. They deal with grief differently. We understand that. But I'm sharing with you, don't stay in that place for a long time. It will behoove you to come out of it, get the support that you need, get around other people of like mind that's been through the process, that's been through the bereavement of losing a loved one to cancer. That's what I had to do. And then other things I had to do. Listen, I had to call on my family. Listen, what y'all doing? I need to come see somebody.
I need to get out of here.
Listen, where everybody at? You know what I'm saying? But guess what? People don't know if you don't share it, baby. If
Exactly.
you don't say nothing, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't say anything, people don't know what you're going through. You just at home, woe is me. Oh my, why am I going through this? You're not reaching out to people.
Yeah, so how did they know if they can come to you if you're not reaching out, right?
Exactly.
If you keep everything to yourself, nobody knows you're hurting. Nobody knows you're grieving. Nobody knows, oh, she's fine. She's not talking to us. She's good. She's doing her thing.
She's doing her thing. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, baby, hello, I'm having a goddamn breakdown. Come on, come on and check on people. And that's what I'm saying about caregiving. Check on people, see what's going on with them. When people get quiet, if we in tune, when people get quiet, that should be saying something.
Yeah.
If I've been talking to you, and all of a sudden you ain't hearing from me, something's wrong. So call people, check on people. So I got around my family. Number one, what I did to go through my bereavement, my grief process of losing a loved one to cancer. Number one, I got with a support group. Number two, I leaned on my family and his family. His family was there too. Now, hey, everybody, we all in this together. So I leaned on everybody. And finally, you know what I'm saying? I now always tell people this: if you need to go seek out a psychiatrist or whatever you need to do it. There's nothing wrong with getting professional help until you can get past this process. And so that's what I did. I didn't seek the professional help because I'm already professional. I already knew people. So I talked to the psychiatrist personally. And I even took me time off. I took a FMLA from work, family medical leave. I did that. If you can do that, take that time off. Just take off. I took off, I think, about a month or two. I just took off and got myself together.
I have a question for you, Sherrell.
Sure.
Being a caregiver for so many years, do you think that some people stay in the support groups too long and not move forward? Do you ever run into that?
Well, that's a matter of opinion, because some people do need to stay in them longer. Because why? They need the help. They feel like they may be ready, and then they pull back. Dang, I may be ready. I don't know. Maybe I should just stay in there a little bit longer. And that's okay. That's what it may take for you to stay. It may take you to stay there longer. Just use for an example. I deal with psychiatric and detox patients now. Now, for detox patients, they come in for a certain amount of time, and then they feel like they're ready to go. And they do. And then some of them, they pull back. They're not ready. Same thing with support groups. If you're not ready, stay there. That's what they're there for. They're there to support you, to uplift you, to empower you, to be the best that you can be. And we all need that. We all need someone to lean on.
Yeah.
If you just leaning on, if you just in this thing by yourself, then something is wrong. Something is wrong with that picture. We cannot just do this thing by ourselves. This is why, even with that's why I call it a network, because we all need each other. Now, you can be out there alone if you want to. That's a choice. But I would advise everyone to get connected with someone. And this is why we have all the support groups. They have networking. Do whatever you need to do. Don't feel like you're the Lone Ranger. There's other people out there that can help you.
So this event that you have going on in November, Sherrell, is there going to be a registration for that event? Is it going to be a closed event, or?
Eventually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have everybody to register on Eventbrite.
Okay.
I'm calling an interest meeting on October 21st for those, the 8 that I have that's been selected. I think it's one more. I am really looking for another male. If y'all know another male out there, please.
All you males that are out there listening, if you know a good caregiver, send them.
A male caregiver, because I just want to acknowledge them, because they do so much.
They do.
I'm not going to get sidetracked, but yes, we have an interest call on Thursday, October 21st at 6 p.m. However, this is for just the 8 that's on the spotlight. what they're going to do when I speak to them, they're going to send out the Eventbrite link to those to come in and watch. Now, we know for a spotlight, it may be so many minutes. I'm not going to give it away yet, but it's a spotlight, and it's going to be dedicated to those who are caregivers. And I am so passionate and so serious about caregiving. It's in my DNA. And this is why I want to acknowledge them. I want to acknowledge them. And this is what the whole platform is about. And so once I talk with them and get everything situated, we're going to put it out on the platform, let everybody know exactly the time, the date, and what they need to do to come to this event. And you know, the thing about this too is November is Thanksgiving month. Thanksgiving, guess what? I'm a Thanksgiving baby.
Hello. That's right. You guys in the States in November. We're in October here in Canada.
I am like a Thanksgiving baby. Come on. So, you know, I'm thankful. I am thankful for everyone. And this whole month is going to be dedicated to caregivers. It's a family caregivers month. And so I'm dedicating all my time, all the time to caregivers, but specifically for the month of November, which is Family Caregivers Month. And that's where we're at with everything. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be a wonderful event. It's just a time to share and let people know that they are loved. And I am thankful for them because they don't have to do it. It takes a special person to step up and be a caregiver. Some people may just be in it for the money, but I hope that's not the case. I hope they have genuine love and appreciation for who they're taking care of. I just know this. That is my passion. That is my DNA, and that is what I do. I take care of God's people. That's me. That's what he gave me. Because they say, if you're in this world, what are you doing while you're here?
Exactly.
Are you just existing, or are you doing what God has put inside of you to do? I know when I became a registered nurse, I knew already I was going to be taking care of God's people. So guess what? For this global caregiver network to come together at such a time as this, it's the perfect time. And I thank God for putting it in my spirit to do it, because it's a lot of caregivers out there, but this one right here is going to be totally different. It's going to be different. I'm going global. I'm going across the world, the nation.
I love it. I love people that do big. You know what, everybody? Why are you going to do that so big, right? Why not? Why can't we do it big, right? If we don't try, we don't know. You know, I really, really like to encourage everyone out there. If you got a big dream, just go for it. If you fail, you fail. It's a learning lesson. It's a blessing. You might meet incredible people. You just never know what's going to happen. Absolutely. So on that note, I'm going to get into your tea now. I want to know who Sherrell is, and I want to know your tea. So what does tea mean to you? First, we'll start with the meaning of tea for you.
Yes, the tea for me is teaching. I've been a teacher all my life. I'm telling you, ever since I got into the registered nurse and been in different hospitals and doing different things. So the T is for teaching, and that's teaching. I'm teaching all the time. The E is for education. Education can be resources. How am I giving the caregivers resources and tools and tips and strategies to do what they need to do and to be the best caregiver? I know I just keep going back to this because caregivers have to know that you can take a break. It's okay to cry. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to throw your hands up in the air and say, listen, I done had enough. All of that is okay. You ain't got to just be, I'm just going to be gun-ho about taking care of someone. No, take the time to take care of yourself. And so then my A is advocacy.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I like her A.
Come on. I'm telling you, I am a patient care advocate. Come on. I've been doing this so long, baby. When you said T, I ripped it right off. Teaching, education, and advocacy.
And that is you. That is you, Sherrell, because that is your past, your present, and your future. Because your past, even as a little girl, you wanted to teach. You wanted to show people that you could care, that it was easy to. At 11 years old, you were a child, right? Exactly. Education. You're giving education right now. You're giving education in the present. Advocacy. You're going to bring it into the future. You're not stopping, you're continuing.
Yes.
So you are serving your tea. And this is what we need to do. Each and every one of us is serve our genuine, authentic teas to the world. Stop being afraid of our cups of teas. This woman, I'm telling you, she is making a difference with her tea, and she's spilling it tonight.
I am off of this is my tea, girl. This tea right here. Come on, teaching, education, and advocate. Come on, we got to keep this thing real. And I don't know no other way to be than to be real with people.
Exactly.
We got to know how to do things. Teaching, I've been doing that all my life. Ever since even before the age of 11, because even when you're in school, you're being taught, and then somebody teach you, and then you go teach somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
How you do it. Education. You're going to always be educating people.
Exactly.
I still have to do continuing education for nursing to get my license every year or every 2 years in nursing. Education is continuously, it's on a continuum. And then to advocate, I advocate for patients. I advocate. I used to be a case manager. I know about the ins and outs when they don't have insurance and other things that's going on with them. I am totally all in for patient caregiving. This is what I do. I have found my niche. I heard Dr. Sherrell say one day, and Sean Fair say, find what you need to do. Find your niche.
Yeah.
I mean, you focus in on that and you be laser sharp with it. Cut out the fat and just focus in on what you do. I'm not in nobody else's lane. I'm in my lane of brilliance now. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm not just passing through here trying to figure this thing out no more. God has showed it to me. And I'm telling you, I am laser focused now. Everything gonna be about Global Caregivers Network, and Miss Sherrell speaks.
And this is what we need to do, right? Is our teas. We need to be authentic. We need to show that we really care for ourselves. And it's like you said many times tonight, take care of yourself. You know, a caregiver also takes care of themselves. It's not selfishness. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to take care of our cup, right? If you don't take care of your cup, how can you educate? How can you advocate? Like, you know, we're giving the false message when we're actually not serving our true self. It's like I tell everyone, I am who I am. If you don't like me, I can't change that. This is who I am.
Yes.
I am made to serve tea. This is my calling. God has made me the tea lady for a reason. And what I do with tea is I make it so that you flow your tea. And we just make a beautiful blend together. And we create different types of teas all over. Yes. We globally are connecting and flowing and spilling tea all over every time we are on Teatime. Yes. And I really love that you put the word teaching and education in there, because for me, my tea is teaching, education, awareness. But we're teaching in different ways.
Yes.
We're teaching through our stories, through our journeys, through our challenges, our pain. We are teaching that it is okay to move forward. It is okay to educate yourself and get ahead. And advocacy, I love that word, because we need that. We need that really, really a lot in the world today, is people advocating for themselves, for others, and standing up and saying, you know what, this is not right what you're doing. I'm going to advocate for this person and say, hey, this is what this person really needs.
Absolutely.
You know, and when you said advocacy, I was like, oh my God, I love this girl. I'm like, I need this girl, because we need that, right?
Yes.
We need that advocacy out there, and we need it in the future. Present, yes, but in the future, we need it, because the world is changing, and it is changing drastically. It is not the same world anymore. Whether people want to admit it or not, we will never go back to normal. So we need to really advocate for ourselves and the new changes that are coming, because I really believe caregiving is going to be needed big time.
It is.
What we're going through right now, we need it.
Absolutely.
And any males that are out there, if you are a caregiver, or if you know anyone that is a caregiver, please reach out to Sherrell so she can have you and she can work with you, because we do want to give the credits to the males as well. It's not always about the women. You know, we are here to network, like Sherrell said, network. And network means everyone. It doesn't mean just females. It doesn't just mean children. It doesn't just mean males. It means everyone. Network is connecting everyone. And when people hear me say the word everyone, they think, oh my God, Liz, what are you doing? What am I doing? I am bringing everyone to the table. That's what I am doing.
Everyone. Come on, let's sit at the table.
Right?
That is good. That is good, Miss Liz, because network is definitely what it says. You're going to net and you're going to work it together.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Yes, we have all kind of different diverse groups out there. That's fine. But for those that wants to come in and join in and mesh together and do what needs to be done, we welcome you in Global's Caregivers Network. There's no shame here. Like I say, it's a private group, so we're not sharing information outside of the group. It's a wonderful place to be. And I just take my hat off to the males. Because like we just said, women have always been, we would listen.
Exactly.
Women been caregivers since back in the Stone Age time. Come on now. We've been out there for a long time. We have always been caregivers. Okay, so let's acknowledge the men. Let's acknowledge the male caregivers. I don't think they get enough recognition for what they do, yet we're always calling on them in the workplace. Can you come help me? Can you come help me? You know, this guy, this big patient I got. And so, yeah, let's acknowledge them. Let's call it what it is and acknowledge the male caregivers.
Well, if we want our males to treat us like kings, we got to treat them, right? As
Absolutely.
well. We got to appreciate them as well. We can't just say, come to the table, do this, and not say thank you. They need a thank you once in a while too. They need some little appreciation,
Absolutely. And just on a note of that, just with the caregiver itself, because I always just have like little acronyms and things, but I share that before we go off about the little acronym. But I do want to share the dates, Miss Liz, of the family caregivers for the month of November.
For sure.
If that's okay. Okay.
For sure. No, we want to get that out there.
Okay. So in November, which I just shared, is the family caregivers month. So we're going to do it twice a month. And it's going to be, I'm going to give you the dates for those who would like to write it down. November 7th, November 11th, Thursday, Sunday, November 14th, Thursday, November 18th, Sunday, November 21st. And I got a brave cadet that's going to come forth on November 25th, and she is going to do a Thanksgiving family caregiver. Cool. Because November 25th is Thanksgiving. But I have a wonderful person, this cadet that's going to step up, and she is going to come forth on November 25th and give us a Caregivers Day for Thanksgiving. And then we're going to end it on November 28th on a Sunday with the male caregivers. And so that's the calendar. November 7th, Sunday. On the Sundays, November 7th, 14th, 21, and 28th. And then on Thursdays, November 11th, 18th, and the 25th.
Awesome. I'm gonna put that into the comments after we're done the live show. And anyone that is listening to the audio, if you want more information, please reach out to Sherrell Mims. She is on Facebook. She is on Instagram. I do have her Instagram. I'm going to bring up the Instagram. I still haven't found the group, but I'll get the group in after we're done the live. Sure. I will make sure that it is in there.
Miss Sherrell Speaks.
And then I have you from Instagram. So if anybody would like to reach out to you as well. I would like to get more into a little bit on your speaking, Sherrell. When you're speaking on the stages, are you speaking about the caregiving, or are you speaking about your personal story? What are you sharing on the stages?
So now I've been taught now how to, it's what they call signature stories.
Okay.
Your signature story is the story that you're always going to tell to your audience. And that for me was about I will wait until morning, about the caregiving, the bereavement. Now I'm switching a little bit. You can have so many signature stories. It depends on your audience. Like with the speaker con, I'm doing inspiration this time. So because of the audience and what's going on, it's an array of people that's going to be out there. And guess what? People need to be inspired. They need to be uplifted because of the pandemic. I'm telling you right now, a lot of people are still got that residual from the pandemic and how that thing just came in here and wiped people out. I'm saying that to say this, because at the psychiatric place where I work at, there's a waiting list for people to come in. and a lot of them have been traumatized from the pandemic. And so, yeah, this is what's going on. So now I'm coming in a different way. I'm going to come in to inspire the people and encourage them and motivate them to be the best that they can be. And you have to remember, too, this is a season that we're getting ready to go in. We're going into the holiday seasons now. A lot of people are what? They are alone.
Yeah.
They isolated. They don't have family members. So we got to think about that, too. So I'm changing my signature story to for what the season is right now, too. And I felt it in my spirit. And then I went into prayer about it. And this is what is needed for such a time as this, to inspire the people to be the best that they can be. It's so much going on in the world. I mean, it's just so much going on all over the world. And so to inspire someone and uplift them and empower them, motivate them, that's my niche also. And I have other stories to tell. So one is like the bereavement, grief, losing a loved one to cancer. I have mental health I talk about. I have the inspiration. So there's a variety of signature stories that I have. Depending on what's going on, that's what I use. But I am definitely called to inspire, to motivate, and talk about different things that's going on in my life. Because guess what? Like Dr. Sherrell say, my story is about me, but it's for you. It's for someone else. We're not supposed
exactly right. Our stories are not for us. We've gone through it, but our stories are not for us. Our stories are to help others who are going through it or who needs that moment of hope, where they say, oh my God, I can't do this. But then they see or they read our stories and they're like, I can do it because look, she's done it, or he's done it, or, and that's what it is. Our stories are not for us. They are given to us for us to teach the world, to show people that we can overcome.
That is correct. And that's what I said about the T, teaching, educating, and advocate. That's me.
I love your tea. I really, truly love your tea.
Thank you.
And I really want everyone out there who is watching Teatime now and who will watch the replay, please let me know where you're watching from. And if you have any guests that you would like, that would like to come on Teatime, please let me know. I will be doing something different for 2022 with Teatime. So I will be bringing that at the end of the year when I do the reunion Teatime, when I bring back all my guests from 2021, the ones that can make it. It is our reunion show. And you get to network and connect with all of the guests that were on Teatime in 2021 as well. And I have some other surprises that are coming in December as well. So I might be bringing back some people from 2020. I'm not sure yet. You got to really stay tuned for that. But I really want to thank you, Sherrell, for being here today and sharing your tea with us and sharing it with the world. And I will get all that information into the group after, into the comments after for the Global Caregivers Network. And if you'd like to know anything more, please reach out to Sherrell. If you have any questions or anything on what she's doing, please send them to me and I will get them forwarded to her as well. I don't mind doing that. And I will be putting updates on everything that she is doing. So as soon as you get all of the Eventbrite and that up, I will get that onto Teatime page so that people can register for that as well. But again, I want everyone who is out there who is watching Teatime, I want you to learn to respect privacy. I want you to understand that a lot of people are going through a hard time, and sometimes it takes a lot for them to share their stories. I'm putting this out there tonight on Teatime because of some actions that other people are doing, and I don't find that it is right and it is unfair that you are taking away from all of these people that are doing incredible work. I won't put names out, but I do know who you are. And if I do catch you doing wrong, I will take you away from Teatime. So I want you to all understand that Sherrell has worked her butt off for 23 years. This woman has given service to caregiving. And I want you all to understand that she has done it from the heart. So please respect her and please understand that caregiving is really needed in the world today. And I want to thank you again, Sherrell. So before we wrap up Teatime, I want you to give your final words to all the viewers out there.
My final words to all the viewers is this. Number one, love on yourself. Take care of yourself. I can't say that enough. And I've been in this business 23 years. I don't look like it, do I?
We ain't going with the age thing, right?
Hold up. They be saying, girl, you don't look like what you've been through. You know all that pulling and tugging on patients and all that. I don't look like what I've been through. But why? Because I have taken care of myself. I have making myself priority one. And you know, working in the hospital can be hard, baby. I've been doing this thing for, like I said, over 20 some years, and it has not been a roller coaster ride. Well, it has been a roller coaster ride. Some days better than others. But I'm just going to close out with this acronym about caregiver. So let me find this quickly. I just know caregiver is something that we must do and something that we have to do. But when you do it, be the best at what you do. Don't be, being slothful about it. Take care of people. People need to be taken care of. If you're not able to do it and do it with the best quality care, then have someone step in for a minute and help you, because we need you and the care recipients need you. It's not always about the money. The money is going to come. You do your part as a caregiver, believe me, God is going to take care of you, because to give back to someone else that has taken care of you is the greatest gift in the world. I call my mom every day, if not every other day. I check on my mother. You know what I'm saying? My parents, they're almost up in their 80s. We got to check on our family. We got to check on our family members and make sure that they're right. It's not, put away all the eels and gills and it's all about you. No, it's not about you. It's about someone else. So be the best that you can be at whatever you do. And I'm just going to leave you with this about what I just said. Whatever you do, give your best. And to give back to someone else that has taken care of you is the greatest gift in the world. That's my message, and I approve it. My name is Sherrell D. Mims, and I approve this message. Okay, Liz.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciated this tea time. I really needed this tea time tonight. And I want everyone to tune in. I will be back on the 19th of October with Shireen Adef. And she is from Canada, and she will be sharing her personal story. If I'm saying your name wrong, I'm so sorry, but you know I love you. I just got this little tongue twister thing going on with my tongue, but she's an amazing woman, and she will be on Tea Time sharing her story. And then on the 20th, I have Morris Taw coming in and sharing about collaboration training academies. So I have many different flavors that are coming to the table. If you would like to know more about any of the tea times, please check out Miss Liz's YouTube channel and share the tea times, connect, network, and get involved, because those tea times are there to connect. They are not there for me. They are not there for me to be shown off. They are there for the guests. Tea time is for the guests. It's tea time with them, not me. I am just a lady that holds the pot and brings the tea to the table. That's all I do. So again, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. I see your comments in all the different platforms because we are streaming to multiple places. Kizzy, I have seen your comments. Thank you. Cynthia, I've seen your comments. My brother William in Pakistan, I've seen your comments as well. And I've seen your comments all over. But I really wanted to take tonight as a time to showcase Sherrell. The comments that come in, I do read them and I do reply back. So please understand that sometimes I don't put your comment up because I don't feel that it is related to the conversation that is going on. But I do see your comments, and I do appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and checking out Tea Time. Share the Tea Times. Even if you've watched the Tea Time from last week and you really enjoy it, share it away, because these guests are incredible and they are doing incredible work. So again, Sherrell, thank you for joining me for tea. And I will see everybody on the 19th of October with a new Tea Time. Thank you.
Thank you.